And I'd like to welcome back Dan Oweiler from Sterling Financial Advisors. Always good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Yes.
How you been?
Pretty good. How about you?
Staying away from the coronavirus?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
You know, we were just chatting, and the kind of your topic today is, you know, for a lot of people, retirement is sort of a thing they don't really necessarily want to do, as far as they may have the money to retire. They may want to retire from the job they've had for 30 years.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that they want to sit home and do stuff. They often want to go back.
They want to break their routine.
Yeah.
You know, they've been working at the job, and it was interesting because we were talking off camera. I was meeting with a couple. He retired, I think, at 62. Mm-hmm. You know, I think he's, you know, anyway, he was a grocery receiving clerk with the Teamsters.
Okay.
And he got a pension.
Yeah.
And at age 62, he retired, had the pension and Social Security, and he's a high school baseball umpire now.
Ah,
you know,
okay,
he enjoys... he says, but I'm going to get another job as soon as they don't penalize my Social Security again. Mm-hmm. You know, and so his idea of retirement wasn't just sitting home, like you said. You know, a lot of times, I sent you a couple articles. There's two reasons why people don't retire full time.
Yeah.
And that's one is because they can't afford to. They need to have the money to pay the bills.
Yeah. Or
they get bored and they want to do something other than the 30 years that they've been doing. I had a gentleman and his wife come in, and she was in the public school systems that has a nice pension. Mm-hmm. He worked over at Saddleback Hospital, not Saddleback, Mission Hospital. Mm-hmm. Did very well. He wanted to get a job at Costco, you know, just to stay busy.
Right.
You know, and so retiring at 65 really isn't the norm anymore, what I find.
Right,
you know?
Yeah, I think that's right.
A lot of times people will have the ability to retire if they want to, but they don't, they get bored.
Yeah.
You know? I hear many times, you know, the wife says, hey, go find a job, get out from under my feet, you know, because they don't know what to do.
And, you know, I was mentioning to Dan that good friends of ours, he had a long-time job and retired, and he gets a pension. And like me, he's a huge Disney fan. So he works at Disneyland, you know, whatever, 18, 20 hours a week. And I also mentioned that he always tells me he spends more money on collectible things that he gets at Disneyland than he makes. But he goes, hey, I get 40% off.
There you go.
I'm a cast member there.
Well, I was mentioning to you also, I was at my granddaughter's soccer game sitting next to a friend of mine who was there supporting her. He says, you know, when I retire, I think the ideal thing to do would be to be a usher at Angel Stadium.
Yeah.
He wanted to, he enjoys watching the Angels play, and he wants to be an usher. So retiring, I have found, is a very personal thing to everybody. Mm-hmm. You know, we had one client who was an international traveler for his business. He had to travel to a lot of different countries and was always living out of a suitcase. His ideal retirement was to get a big screen TV and the best recliner.
Yeah.
And just not have to do that anymore. Most of us want to travel or do something else, you know. Our bucket list kind of goes in a bell curve where we are real active for the first part and we kind of slow down in the latter part. But everybody's ideal retirement is different than I found.
Yeah, a lot of people, like you said, maybe they just want to be sedentary. A lot of people are now, you know, their idea is now I can go and around my house and do gardening, do woodworking, join a club, join things that they did not have time for. So they're retired from their main income job, but not from doing many other things. Certainly true here.
What I have found is what's nice is to have the freedom to choose what you want to do.
Right, yes.
So there's a difference between working at Costco because I want to and working at Costco because I have to.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. And what we try to do is be able to help people have the freedom to choose how they want their retirement to be.
Yeah.
If they choose that they want to have a job, that's because it's their choice, not because they have to. You know, so we're hoping that we can set up a plan for them that allows them the freedom to choose what they want to do, and that if that's go out and get a job, that's okay.
And you've talked about this in the past, how you're allowed to make more, if you're over 50, your annual limit to contribute to IRAs and all is actually higher.
Yeah,
Am I right?
At 50, you up to age 50, you can donate $6,000 into an IRA. If you're over age 50, you can add another $1,000 to that, so you can donate $7,000. But you know, that's, and with some of these new acts that was just passed last year, now you can contribute past age 70 and a half into an IRA if you're working. You used to be limited up to age 70, and so there's some changes that came in. But what I have found that is retirement is a very personal thing to everybody. What we want to do is set up a plan that allows you to have the freedom to choose how you want to retire. And if that's going to Hawaii for a month, that's okay, you know. But let's not make it a requirement that you have to work in order to pay your bills. We want to set up an income stream that says, okay, based upon what you've got, you know, the overhead that you need, whatever it is, the travel expenses that you want, that you're able to do that and have the freedom without having to work. Right,
and that's the whole main point.
I had a couple. He was fairly successful as a FedEx pilot. He flew the FedEx pilot airplanes. Yeah, unfortunately, he passed away here this couple of years ago. But the nice thing about it is he had set up his wife financially going forward. But she works at Nordstrom now. You know, even though she has, you know, millions of dollars, she likes the association and the friendships that she has at Nordstrom's, and so she work. You know, they come in and work for us, you know, once a week or whatever it is, but her choice is, you know, to do that when she doesn't have to.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole point.
Right.
Being able to finally do something that just for the fun of it, you get some income out of it, but that's not the main focal point.
They're not doing it for income.
Yeah.
She doesn't need an income. She does it because she likes the social aspect of it, and she enjoys working with people.
Yeah.
And so I just, after that guy says, well, I'm going to go back to work at age 66 when they don't penalize my Social Security anymore, I thought, you know, there's a reason why people go back to work.
Yeah.
It's not always financial.
Right.
You know, it's a lifestyle or whatever it is, you know. And you want to probably get into a situation where you have some flexibility. You don't want to be tied down to a 9-to-5 job all the time. Sometimes you have to work through age 70 until your Social Security is at full retirement. But you know, you want to be able to have the freedom to choose to do what you want. And we sit down and help people do that. Yeah. You know, that's what we do.
And you offer, we've shown this before, sort of what you call your financial weather report, and we have it on the screen here.
Right.
And this is something that people come in and you can pick up this.
People that come in and talk to us, and you know, there's a lot of different opinions on what you should do, what you shouldn't do. If you had 5 different advisors sitting around a table, you'd have 5 different answers. Our approach has always been, we're not here to make you rich, we're here to make sure your money is there when you need it.
Yeah.
And so we take a little bit more conservative approach, probably. We're not too aggressive and not doing a lot of options and commodities and stuff like that. We're fairly conservative in what we do, and this report that we put together gives them the foundation, saying, okay, based upon your current assets, a fair rate of return, what kind of income you're spending, this will be projected over the next 25, 30 years. And I think it gives people some peace of mind knowing that they've got a plan in place.
Yeah,
you know,
as you have said, you've said many times that, you know, losing money as you get older trying to gain that back is much more difficult.
I have found that making 30% on your money isn't nearly as critical as losing 30%.
Right.
Okay, and so we sometimes get hung up on the 20%, 25% gains in the market, like we had this last year.
Right.
As opposed to protecting what you have, because that 25 to 30% gain can go down just as quickly if you don't have it positioned correctly.
Yeah.
So our approach says, let's set up your foundation that's protected, and then if we want to offset that with a little bit more aggression, that's okay. But if we have a correction, your foundation isn't affected.
Right.
So
yeah,
there's some planning. Like I said, there's a lot of different opinions about how to go about do that. There's people that are married to the market that says in the long run the market's always going to come back, but it's not their money.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier
true.
for them to say that because it's not their money. And we've been in a 10-year bull market. We're at an all-time high. I'm not getting into politics, but it's ugly out there right now. And you just never know.
Yeah, that's true. So if you want to talk to Dan about this and just sit down with him for the first time, he's always welcoming you there. The phone number's on the screen, as well as the website. He has seminars now and then that you can attend.
Absolutely.
And just to kind of find out all about this.
Yeah, we would welcome anyone that would like to come in. There's a free consultation for the first hour and see if we can even help them. We don't know that we can even help them.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's nice to get a second opinion as to what they're doing.
Right, exactly. Always good to see you.
Good to see you.
Take care of yourself.
All right.
And we'll be right back.